In this demo, we're going to use the latest version of DataStation, the 0.0.3 release, to fetch logs on a server, fetching web server access logs on a remote server, dropping access logs that we don't care about, such as bot traffic, and grouping by domain of the referrer, and then finally graphing so that we can see who the top referrers were to the DataStation site. So we create a new project. Now the first thing that we're going to do is set up the connection to the server. It's going to use private key SSH connection. I always forget the name of this. Okay, so that's all we have to do to configure it. We can ignore that for now. We create a file panel. And we check that we want to go through the server, so this is going to SSH onto the DataStation site to pull this file, and the file name is user share Nginx Logs DataStation Access Log. Now we can run it, and it will go fetch that data in that file on that server. Great. So unfortunately, this is stored as new line delimited JSON, which DataStation does not support at the moment, but it doesn't matter because we can pull up a code panel and split on new lines ourselves, parse the JSON ourselves to get it into a structured format that the rest of DataStation can deal with. So again, we're going to do the splitting ourselves. And we're going to parse the line. Let's wrap that in a try catch in case this happens to blow up because a single line happens to be bad. We'll print it and it will show up here, but we don't really care if it does happen. It doesn't need to stop the panel. Okay, now let's give this a try. And we got nothing. Oh, because we didn't accumulate it. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. You can see from the preview the difference here. This just shows up as a string. There's no special formatting, but because it's now structured, it does its own formatting. It'll show you that it's an array with an object that has keys and so forth. All right, now an annoying thing about this, two annoying things. One is that the user agent is going to show us that there's a bunch of non-browser traffic. So, and you can also see there's stuff that are bots. So let's just not accumulate anything that looks like that. And just to rule out stuff like curl, let's also just say if Mozilla is in, or if Mozilla is not in the user agent, then let's skip it. Okay. Now, finally, what you see right here, the HTTP referrer is just the full URL that is the full referrer URL. That's going to be annoying. We can't really group on that. As you can see right here, this one has a slash at the end. This one doesn't have a slash, so we already couldn't even group on this. So let's use the Python's URL lib to grab the domain out of here. And let's just store that as another field on this object in this panel. Run it again. Let's see if that shows up in the preview after we run it. Yeah, there we go. Refer domain shows up right there. And it looks like it is correctly normalized. All right, so now we're done with cleaning it up. Let's actually go use another panel and do the grouping logic. This time we call it dmGetPanel1 because we're grabbing this one. The second one, it's 0 indexed. You get the idea. In order to count them, we'll use a dictionary where each domain is the key and the count is the value. And the field we stored this in was refer domain. Okay, now that we've got the counts, let's bring that back into something that DataStation can use. So we need to turn it into an array of objects. And let's sort it so that's prettier. Run it. And there we go. You can already see that we're getting some, yeah, it's pretty good. Grouped by domain with the count. Now that we've got that, just to make it even easier to view, did we name this well? Group by domain, okay. Let's graph it. I'm gonna graph domain count. There we go. All right, but these are, all right, this is self-referral, and this one is unknown. The referrer is not sent. Let's exclude those because those are kind of skewing all the results. Oops. Yeah. And oops again. Continue if it's not set or if it's the self-referral. Okay. All right. You can already see it skipped them, so let's go and graph this again. There we go. These are apparently the biggest referrers right now. So again, just demonstrating the new features in the new version of DataStation 0.0.3 alpha. We've got SSH connections. We can create file panels that connect via servers that we can read remote files and pull it into the rest of DataStation, do some scripting against it, and graph the results in a meaningful way. Thank you.